Hi folks, Lee Murphy here, artbyleemurphy.com, and I'm Lee Murphy who does all the little projects and other stuff on this channel. And today I have something I thought would make a nice little accessory to my cheapy $10 wine box, which became a camp kitchen box with a little bit of a flair to it. And I figured this was on clearance because it had some problems. Little icks over here, icks and cracks and whatevers, and it was cheap enough that I figure if I mess it up, it's no big deal. So it cost about as much as the wine box did. So the idea is to clean it all up and spruce up and get better fixtures on it to make it a little bit more durable and make it into something that might be a fun little thing for storing condiments and food things, or not quite sure what will fit in here. Tea and coffee, we'll see. But here is the before, whatever you want to call it, the before shots. Okay, and we'll see what it turns into. Okay, so here I have what is so far the finished product, with the repaired box, which is, I ended up filing and cleaning all this down, filling it in, re-varnishing it, and putting a coat of glaze on it, or just regular spray clear gloss, and ended up taking this, or the cars going by, are pieces of antique silk sari that, yes, the entire nation has to drive by when I do this video. Putting fabric stiffener in it because it's really old and fragile, but when it's stiffened up it does pretty well here. And then you can see I embellished it a little bit with some flat back rhinestones just to get a little extra oomph and sparkle. And there's some more of it in the front. And I ended up oiling, staining, and glazing these off because they just look so weird, worn down. All these had to be done is to clean them off a little bit with some sandpaper and then some steel wool to bring out the brass look to it, so it has a little bit more vintage look to it, a little bit more cleaned up. Anyhow, use the same catch on it. And the inside, took a bunch of these vintage collage type papers. You can get them online or anything like that, and just kind of filled the inside with it. Used a couple of stickers that look like pressed papers that might have been in with these letters and stuff. I just kind of like the cool vibe, old vibe, and I love the old botanical print thing. So, and then of course put a coat of clear gloss on it to make it a lot more durable. And so then I started coming up with ideas of what to do. This is supposed to be a pantry box to go with the kitchen box that I did in my previous video. And so what I ended up coming up with was this. I had a bunch of tea tins, and they're all different, so that's why I ended up, that's that same stick-on paper that I've used before, like on my tables and in the kitchen box. And I ended up putting these in gilded, they weren't originally gilded, but of course, they all kind of, they match better when the paint's the same, even though they come from different places. So, these are going to be, I've already got some things in it. The dollar store, I love me some dollar store, but I don't want to look like I live here, but they do have, especially during the holidays, little tiny individual serving sizes of things. And you know, when you're out camping, you don't need huge boxes of anything. So, unfortunately, these seems to fit fairly well right there. Here's the second one. Same paper with a little bit different part of the pattern so I can tell them apart. And more. It's really hard. I didn't realize it until I was buying stuff to fill out this little miniature pantry, how much processed food is full of stuff that I don't want. So I'm eventually going to be making things for this little pantry that are going to be like homemade soup mixes, homemade dip mixes, my own spice mixtures and stuff, because golly folks, there's just too much stuff in these foods that I don't want. Here's the fourth one. Once again, these are all different. Fortunately, all pretty much the same size. And I'm going to open this up one-handed. More dip mixes, soup mixes, marinades, and miniature spices. I don't want to show too many logos, so I don't want to get the YouTube algorithm mad at me. So that goes on there and right here. And they seem to fit pretty well. I haven't quite made my mind up how I'm going to fill this space here, because, you know, everything in such a small camper, everything has to pull its weight, literally. And, well, I can't really get that one very open one-handed. Let's see. Anyhow, well, it's full of more things, more spices and dip mixes and stuff like that, for anything that you would want in a regular kitchen pantry for fixing things. And I figure these will be the condiments, salt, pepper, spices, anything that you would need to cook a meal. And eventually there's going to be a bulk storage area for the bigger foods that just won't fit in here. Now, the first idea was, I have these really neat little stainless steel grinder, spice grinder, or salt and pepper. This one's got pepper in it, to fit in here. And here's the base. And I don't know where the other one. Anyway, it's too, you know, for something, I mean, they're very small, but for just salt and pepper, that's really heavy. And it fits very well in this space, but that's all that will fit in this space. Instead, I decided to take some more of these, you know what, that begins with an A, tins. And once again, try to get them up, try to open them up one-handed. Okay, here we go. So, something fun like that, and hold, I'm not going to show logos again, but this is mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, chopped onions, anything, soy sauce, anything that I could think of. Put some cute little stickers on it. Let's put it in here. Here's another one where I would probably use like sugar, artificial sweetener. You know, you can get other types of like little packets of jelly and things, just for something very simple and small. Keeps it all self-contained. And then later on, I ended up getting a bunch of these at the craft store. And these are pretty small. They're smaller than the camping size ones I found online. But then again, it's just me, so I don't know that I need a whole bunch of garlic powder or cinnamon or anything else like that. This should be enough to last me easily a week for whatever kind of spices I ended up wanting to use. And then I liked these. These would look really good, but they're not. These I think are almost too small. And not really, I don't think they're not going to be watertight, and they don't seem to be as secure, so I'm just kind of not going to go with that. So I haven't really decided yet what eventually will go in here, but I do like this setup here. It's really kind of funky looking. I think it turned out okay. I'm not sure if I want to use these instead, or maybe find something completely different to fit in this space, because I want to be able to use it all up and be as efficient as possible. Everything has to work as tightly and efficiently and lightweight as possible to make this whole idea I have work. So anyhow, I'm hoping that is inspirational for people, and you know, if you got any comments as to what might fit in here to be a good idea for a little camping pantry, I'm always glad to hear it in the comments. And hopefully that is inspirational for anybody to go make their own even better and even neater little camper box, little camping pantry box. So anyhow, well, thank you for watching and have a good day.